Check, 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 check. Good morning, everyone. It is January 31st at 11 a.m. Convened meeting on SB 497 Taskforce to study repealing motor vehicle personal property tax. Thank you for being here. I thought this is our last meeting, but we have another idea came up. So this is why we're changing, and we have another meeting, final meeting to review the final report. Today, the idea came in. Mill rate commercial vehicle 32.46, want to keep the cap on and giving the option the town and city, 169 town and city to continue your tax on the commercial vehicle. So I just want to board up this, and please kindly put your input, and we want to talk about this. Thank you. With that, I would like to pass on my good co-chair, Representative Brandon, please.
Good morning, everyone. Look forward to the discussion. Just once again, I want to thank everyone for their time volunteering on the committee. And yeah, with that said, I think we can get going, MD. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you so much. Like I said, this idea to continue keeping on a cap on 32.46 commercial vehicle, and town and city, they have the option they can still tax on. It will generate like over $400 million, which is we don't have to worry $1.1 billion now. It's about like $700 or $800 million we will talk about. So please kindly share your thought and idea. It is a good idea to keeping cap on the commercial vehicle or not. Please kindly talk about this, and anyway you can help us. Thanks. I see. I think the Dr. Anwar want to say a few things. Go ahead, please.
No, this is actually because all the discussion that you have had concentrated on what you call personal motor vehicle property tax. And as we also have heard from someone from the town of Windsor, if I'm not mistaken, that they would like to retain the revenue by taxing the the rental companies and so on and so forth. So it is going to be a good idea just to ensure that that particular stream of revenue stays intact and the towns benefit from it, while at the same time taking 400 million off from the 1.19 billion. That also makes coming with the solution slightly easier using the different schemes that we actually have discussed, and we'll actually try to finalize. So my understanding is this is actually a good idea, and will actually assist in tailoring the other approaches just to ensure that it's not only a reduction or passing on tax to another category, but actually close to a repeal as much as possible. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else want to share your thought or idea, anything you want to talk about? You think is good idea to still continue to keep on the 32.46 cap on the commercial vehicle?
If I may, Senator.
Please proceed, Dr. Khan.
I just was curious. I think some of the towns which gets a significant amount of revenue from the commercial car property taxes. The challenge I see that some of the towns, which is rural or smaller town, will have not that benefit, even though I do see a significant less pressure on finding the revenue loss that will be generated from the removing or repealing the property tax. So I would be curious to see what other options we have on the table, and then maybe put my inputs in it. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Khan. At this moment, we still are reviewing and examining the situation, keeping that 32.46. So we don't have the final thought on this. Thank you. Anyone there want to talk about this? I think I see the my co-chair, Brendan, maybe you want to share anything.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I guess to the last point that was made, one concern I would have with this is, what is the disparity between towns and their commercial motor vehicle base? Obviously we've talked quite a bit about the towns surrounding the airport. They have a lot of rental cars. They receive a lot of revenue based on that. I'm just curious if OPM or maybe the DMV has any sort of data about what the commercial motor vehicle tax base is town by town. I don't believe that we had that broken out in the spreadsheet we received when we first convened the task force. So that would really be my concern. I'm guessing some towns have a large commercial vehicle tax base and others probably don't have much at all. So, I don't know what the mechanism would be to replace lost revenue, moving forward with this, but I do think that it's an interesting idea. I would just need to see a little more data to actually see how this would impact each town. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. I'm with you. You're absolutely right. Some town like Bosra, they don't have a lot of commercial property there or vehicle. But at the same time, Unja Locks, there's a rider, big company, and also airport. You're right, though. They have they are generating huge commercial, income from the car. So yeah, we don't have the data right now, but we are still looking into. This is why we call this meeting before the final meeting, and of course we will have the final meeting. Before the final meeting, we will have the collect all the data, and then we can talk about the final review. Meeting all the expect anything is there. But anyone else, if you have anything want to say about this, will be really helpful. Your thought and your idea. This is like huge, like a $400 million, taking up from the table. Thank you.
Well, I would just say that I think that we don't have the information, and I would echo Commissioner Boughton's ideas that we turn this into a tax overhaul study and we actually get some data, because I think the discussion to date has been very incomplete. Back of a napkin ideas, and I don't think we have impacts for 169 towns, nor do I think we have ideas of compliance cost for businesses and individuals to comply. And I think we need to start from the beginning and develop some data about what we want to do. You can certainly cut the motor vehicle tax and it gets added to the property tax if the towns are going to be made whole for real estate, but that probably doesn't give any net value to anybody other than you don't have to fill out some papers. So that's a big expense, but I don't think that's should be the driving factor behind tax reform, to just not have to file one more sheet of paper. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. And I'm agree with you. You're absolutely right. This is why we create this task force, looking everything, positive, negative, good and bad. All those stuff we will talk final report. Thanks.
Mr. Chairman, this is Matt Hart.
Thank you, Mr. Matt. Please proceed.
Oh, thank you. I apologize for joining a little bit late. I wasn't sure whether or not there was a proposal on the table, but I would echo the comments made by Mr. Beckett, and could we take a step back and try to look at the system in a more comprehensive way, where the motor vehicle tax fits in, and as we discussed at our last meeting, how do we fund local government services here in our state? What's the effective tax burden? How do we compare to other states that might be more competitive from a tax perspective? What type of options do we have, et cetera? So also, like Mr. Beckett did, want to echo the proposal advanced by Commissioner Boughton last time around, if we could get some expertise to assist the task force with that analysis. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. You're absolutely right. Mr. Beckett has a lot of talent. This is why we bought him. And thank you, Mr. Beckett, serving with us. His talent, his idea is really helpful. Of course, we're going to review those very closely. Thank you, Matt. Anyone else is there? If not, we're going to...
Mr. Chairman?
Oh, I see the commissioner. Mr. Commissioner, please proceed. Welcome and thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, so, just to kind of double down on what Chip and Matt have already said, I think, when we started this process, our goal is to eliminate the motor vehicle tax, which is a noble and worthy goal and something I think all of us would love. I think the rub becomes, what is that impact as it relates to all the other taxes, because eventually we're in a zero-sum game, right? We have to pay for services. Those services payment has to come from somewhere. So it's really how you structure the actual tax system here in Connecticut. But I think that there have been a couple of thoughts that have been put out, and some people have done some real nice homework and just kind of thinking out of the box, which I appreciate. But I would also gently say that I don't know how many more meetings we plan to have, what'll be the cadence, how long we're going to do this. But I think we're nowhere near ready to report anything out, except that we want to keep working. And that would give us some time to start fleshing out some of these ideas. But without really a comprehensive approach to this, we're going to run the risk of unintended consequences. And I think the goal here is for whatever is done out of this task force, we want it to be enacted, right? I mean, nobody wants to sit in a task force for months and we issue a report, it sits on the shelf and people kind of wave it off. So I think getting an extension from the legislature might be an important piece of this. I think telling us what you think the cadence should be for these meetings. I know we know the end goal, but how are we going to get there? Who are we going to listen to? Who's going to design this kind of plan? And what's going to be the impact? And then take some of the ideas that have been put forth, which are interesting, and kind of put them in a position for us to be able to consider them and then determine whether or not we would sign off on that. And then the only other thing I would ask is, if a member of this committee or task force does not agree with the final report, whenever that takes place, is there an opportunity for either to write a competing report, a dissension, or to just not sign it and say, listen, good ideas, but it's just not ready or not something I'm interested in putting my name to. And so, Mr. Chairman, I'd just like to know what your thoughts are on that and in terms of how we proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Commissioner. It's a really thoughtful idea or all the stuff. Very good stuff you brought up. This is why we created the first place, this task force. All the idea we are hearing or listening, but of course not every single idea become a law. This is why we are talking about all those things. And we have genius, very smart task force created from all different aspect, all the expert in here today with us. So yeah, final report when created, and we're going to talk about those. So of course, we are all going to be make sure on same boat moving forward. Your idea, you saying same thing, I'm saying, all other task force members saying same thing. working hard for Connecticut resident cost savings. That's the main goal. But at the same time, we don't want to hurt anyone under any condition, either town or city or residents or commercial, anyone. So we want to keep continue talking. As per the meeting, I think we have one more final meeting, and that meeting we will continue talk about the final report if we have by this time. I'm sure we will have it by this time. Thank you so much. I appreciate your all the thought and times and input. Thank you. If no one else is there, I like to wrap it up today, this meeting. And Madam Clerk, do you have the next meeting date and time? If not, Madam Clerk will shoot the email next meeting date and time with the agenda. And thank you so very much. I really appreciate your times, and I will see you our final meeting, and she will send the meeting agenda and date and time. Thank you. Appreciate it. And meeting job.
Thank you.